Here's the answer to this week's On Tap Trivia. Where in the world and what year was the first yeast culture isolated? 1698 at Brewery Weinsteffen in Germany, 1805 at St. James Gate Brewery in Ireland, Austria's Stiegele Brewery in 1881, or Carlsberg Brewery in Denmark in 1883. Have you ever had a Carlsberg brew? The first yeast culture in the world was isolated at their brewery in Denmark in the year 1883.
So I'm crazy excited to be here at Brewery Vivant today because I've never drank in a funeral parlor before.
Yeah, this building behind us is 100 years old in a historic area in Grand Rapids, and now it's a place where people come to celebrate, so let's go check it out.
Let's go.
My friend told me it was a funeral home, but we found out it was actually a chapel when the funeral home was like next door.
And a lot of people, including my wife, walk in here like, that's never gonna work. But I walked in like, this will be perfect. Yeah. It'll be a pub. We'll put the bar there.
Well, it's beautiful. You know, it's kind of different, but what they did with it was really great.
It's a little different, but it definitely gives it that Belgian feel, the old world feel.
Brewery Vivant has only been open about 5 years, but already they're a staple in the Grand Rapids beer scene.
We had some time off, and we wanted to jump up here to Grand Rapids because we knew it was a beer town of the Midwest, right?
They call this the center of the universe, and it is for Grand Rapids, I think.
Yeah, the biggest compliment we get is when people have company in town, they live in Grand Rapids, and they want to show them what Grand Rapids is all about, they bring them here.
You come on a day like today when everything is perfect, the beer is perfect, and it's a good day.
And the fans of Vivant will tell you why they are always dragging their friends to this place.
Brewery Vivant is the place that made me like beer. So, you know, the Belgian style and the crafted, just, you know, it's my first love.
Yeah, I spend more time here than I do with my family for the most part, but that's all right. I get enjoyment out of seeing people enjoy what we do every day.
Either we hear, I don't want something hoppy, or I don't want something Belgian. And then we give them a Belgian hoppy beer, and they go, oh, that's delicious. And we go, yeah, because it's right.
We've been to Belgium a couple times, so it compares. It's like right on par. So it's fantastic.
All of their barrel-aged stuff is just amazing. I always ask because it's constantly changing and it's always a new something new to try.
I love all of their beer. It's very diverse. It's very original.
They come out with new things so often that I always like to try different things that they have all the time.
Each of their beers have their own twist, American twist on it, which makes it, you know, a little bit more special.
There's got to be something on the menu that you're gonna like.
2 thumbs up. I don't know.
If you like Belgian beers, this is a must-stop.
It's just a unique experience. It's different from every other kind of brewery I've been to.
Well, if you like good atmosphere, people that treat you real good, great beer and great food, this is the place to come.
This is the Big Red Cock.
The Big Red Cock. All right.
It is
cheers.
pronounced cock. That was a pub one-off. We never thought we'd make it again. We had a lot of fun with the name, you know, Big Red Cock. We make people say the whole name a lot of times at the bar. We don't let them get away with the Big Red.
Yeah. I'm drinking Big Red, which is my favorite. I could drink this all day long, and sometimes I do.
It's a great beer. It's made primarily with Citra hop, and it gives it this kind of tropical mango flavor that comes out of the hop. People will refer to this as an IPA. Technically not, because the malt bill is a little different. We call it a hoppy red ale.
The inspiration for Vivant came when Jason and his wife Chris were trekking through Europe. They encountered small farmhouse breweries that produce beer specifically for the surrounding community.
Well, what we specialize in is what we call Belgian and French inspired beers. Basically what we do is we bring yeast from France and Belgium and make all our beers with those exclusively. When my wife and I visited over there, we met a lot of French and Belgian brewers. And I'd just come off a German brewing school, which is very strict. Then you go into Belgium and France, and these brewers are pretty free. It's more a very artistic approach.
They have complete trust in us, complete faith in us, so we have free reign to do anything we want to do.
You know, these guys have so many ideas for beers, like we have to kind of contain them.
You know, we're not trying to take over the world here. We're not going to make, you know, 1 million IPAs with, you know, 200 IBUs. That's not our style.
That farmhouse ingenuity led to the crafting and naming of a Vivant flagship brew.
So this is the farmhand.
Nice kind of cloudy farmhouse ale. You get lemon, you get a little zip. It's one of these beers that works really well as an introduction to craft beers.
Starting with something light like the Farmhand was definitely a way to go.
There's huge depth to the flavor, and you can't beat it, really.
But it's lighter bodied, but it's really interesting still. So it's got a lot of nuances. It's a little bit lemon character and a little bit of, we call it a little bit of a funk. That farmhouse funk, and it just makes a great food beer, but it's also a good everyday beer. And when I find myself needing a beer, this is kind of my go-to.
Yeah.
Vivant is a LEED certified brewery. They publish a sustainability report every year, and they also have a goal to produce as many of their own products as possible.
Our very first concept was to put this brewery on a farm somewhere, but where that falls apart is you kind of lose that accessibility to where all the people are. So what we've done instead is try to make this urban farm in a plot at our house, and we have a dedicated person we call our farmhand.
Last year we pulled out around 900 pounds of produce. This year I'm hoping to do about 1,000. That's kind of my goal.
And knowing where your food comes from to us is really important. What better place to get something than from your own garden?
So the chefs can get on my calendar and kind of say, okay, with this date we'll probably be expecting to get, say, carrots or radishes.
We talk with the kitchen quite a bit about, you know, these are the beers that I'm making. And they'll pair a dish with that, and then the kitchen will say, well, I got this special coming up in next month. If I have an open slot in the brew schedule, I can make a beer to pair with that dish. We have a vision in our brains what we want this beer to taste like, and we're going to find that ingredient to fit that vision.
Then I will grow that ingredient for that beer, absolutely.
Those fresh ingredients are used often by a kitchen staff that has impacted taste buds around the Grand Rapids area.
You think if it's a brewery that you're just going to come here for the beer, but the food is actually amazing.
Burger is probably one of the best burgers in the area.
The burger is my favorite. Can't go wrong with the burger, and they always have great specials.
You could just have the food and it'd be great. You could just have the beer and it would be great. But we really try to ask questions, and if we could marry those together in a pairing, it kind of elevates the enjoyment of both those things, the food and the beer. That's that experience moment where it really makes an impact, and it can blow people's mind.
Jason, thanks so much for having us for Brewery Vivant. We had a great day.
Thanks for coming out today. But before you go, I got one more surprise for you. The end of every hard day deserves Das Boot.
Oh my goodness.
4 liters of fun.
All right. We're going to fill that up.
Thanks for watching Pure Brews.